It's been a while since we've truly had a heart-to-heart.
I'll
Dear
start that
Spirit,
from the beginning.
I hope this letter finds you well. It's been a while since we've truly had a heart-to-heart, but speaking to you directly is impossible. So I wanted to spend a sunny afternoon composing a letter to you because I communicate better in song and lesser in conversation. What does that leave in the middle? It leaves an unopened envelope, something that you can read on your own, or rather leave on your doorstep, if you choose not to read it, for the breeze to carry away. There's been something bubbling up inside me, something that started with great pain and trouble. There's been a life affair in front of my eyes that I was blind to for many years. One of those creeper things that's always just out of sight. You know, it's there, but I ignored it because it's too sharp. It's that lover in the closet that you keep at arm's length because that kind of love is too big for a Saturday afternoon. It's something that I always wanted to swat away like clustered flies in Vermont, or shoo away like rats in a New York City subway. You and I, we haven't been the same since 2015. It started to get weird then, but I didn't have the balls to talk to you about it. As a matter of fact, I couldn't just talk to you about it. I couldn't even mention it to my friends. I spent 2 years hiding away in a closet thinking about her. It didn't take away my love for you. More appropriately, it caused a great division in my mind and in my heart. It was devastating in the deepest parts of my soul. How could I appropriate myself to two different ideas, you and her? You can't serve two masters. And I mean that as a side note. Not that I was serving you, although it felt that way all the time. We were living together and we were doing fine. A sort of cognitive dissonance love affair without the sex. But how could I keep lying to you about Fiona? When I first met her, it was like I'd always known her. She was old and new. She is here and always was here. It's like the laundry with all the good clothes that still need to be cleaned. If I could just get around to putting it in the wash, I'd be fresh and clean and looking dapper. But she's something that I would, just get up to later. Because she's not going away. She hasn't gone away. It was just that I wasn't ready to address her yet. I know you felt me growing distant from you, and I mean that in the most non-Einsteinian type of way. Einstein, what a loser. Cranking math around to invert everything, but I digress. How do I begin with Fiona Epstein? You knew her too. You just didn't see her because you were focused on me. You loved me in the only way you knew how to. You built an invisible fence around me because keeping my soul in your world was how you shared your love. Your treatment of my soul was comforting for so long. But it was a false comfort. It was light as paper. The idea of us was but a wispy contraption. The beach it was built on was always at risk of total failure. You were a master at keeping the sand rebuilt year after year, but that beach house was constructed too close to Fiona's shores. Sort of like how you catfished me on your curves when we first met. How did I fucking miss that one? You built an entire sky religion to keep my love. I never realized how much work you did to keep my soul close to you. It must have been a heavy haul 24/7 keeping those shores at bay. But those ocean fronts are the same wherever you go, like the one time when you told me my Australian buddy was looking at me upside down. Whew, that was a doozy. I can only imagine there are others like you keeping other lovers from looking south. Because it's so cold out there, your love is so much more inviting. Sphera, you and I were a sure thing. We believed, which is different from knowing. We were going to take over the world, you and I, but it was your world, not mine. Every time I tried to reason with you, your words were lost to sea. Semi-always drowning, forever locked, vacuum sealed in a mystical cracked bottle that never reaches shore. How much money did you have on me, never discovering the ruse? Did you have lovers on the side, maybe everyone? Is blood still red in your veins, or did it turn blue? Oh wait, that's a Mandela. But did you not pass go with your single optical, or your fruit without the loom? That's neither here nor there. Truth is a bugger. I know this is going to be rough for you. I really found you pretty for many years, Sphera. You're a well-rounded lover from my past, and I'll never think of you as an enemy. The way we learn from our mistakes, you are not a mistake because I can say I unlearned everything because of you, and I found myself. Fiona's the future, and you're my happy past. You can keep the Disney DVDs. I stream everything anyway. Plus, Walt dropped the ball when he started that company anyway. Evil's clever. Except the Wizard of Oz VHS. I think they told the truth on purpose there anyway, so I'll keep that one. I just want to keep a level head about everything. Sphera, I gave you an inch and you twisted it 8 inches per mile squared. Did you think I wouldn't check? You little bitch. I tried to give you your space, but you gave me Star Wars. And that was fun for a while. But Chewbacca should have been a clue about giant dogs in space, not even considering naming the ninth moon after one of his cartoon characters and splashing its face on CGI. I wish you well on what's left of your journey. Fiona and I, we're really happy together. I forgive you for faking everything and inverting my world like a parasite. I can see you for miles and miles. XOXO. Lowry.
Hey guys, it's Lowry. My new record, Night Movies at Beach 97, is out now on Mother West Records. Stick around towards the end of this promo to learn how to pick up the music in high fidelity and own it on your own device, circumventing the digital outlets. It is available on the digital outlets, but I prefer you to go through Mother West. It's just a better way. So stick around. So here's the website over at the label. You can buy individual songs. You can buy individual records. But there's a digital box set that's available. Click on Buy Digital Album. It says $50, but you can put whatever number you deem appropriate in there, and you can get 4 production records, 2 live records, and 2 more records recorded in the loft in the early days. So that's where I would like you to go. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, hi, welcome to the Reckoner. We haven't been on here for a while. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on. I got some music going on here. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, I see where it's at. Hold on. It's this one. All right. There we go. Yeah. So welcome to the Reckoner. It is allegedly Sunday, April 19th, 8:14 p.m. in the year of 2026. I wasn't really even, I just wanted to just talk because there's been so much stuff. And, my favorite person to talk to, I'm just going to bring him on because I don't really have much supposition tonight. I think everybody out there already understands sort of like what happened in the last week. And I don't need to show a lot of videos about it because like the streams are already overflowed with people are like, fuck, man, NASA's fake. They're fake. And then you have, you have some people, they're not quite getting the cosmology up. They're like, well, I'm not a flat earther, but no, NASA's fake. So we all went through that phase. Everybody did. And I'm going to be the first person to tell you I was the same one. And we're going to look at some stuff tonight. But in the meantime, I want to invite up one of my favorite co-hosts. We've done a lot of work together over the last 10 years. I know he wishes it was back in COVID days when things were really fun, because there was, but there's even more stuff to talk about now than back then. So I want to welcome up my good buddy, Mr. Crumb. You can find him on YouTube. Don't follow Crumb. fantastic musician, and really great thinker. And we've always hit it off when we stream together. And we don't have any budget tonight. We don't have any end game on what we're going to talk about. I have no idea what we're going to talk about actually. But I think everybody on in the back of their minds know exactly kind of what we're going to talk about. But let's welcome him on to the stage.
What do you mean NASA's fake? What was that all about? Are you serious? Dude,
Look, the Earth isn't
don't
flat, but they're definitely faking
ruin
it.
this for me, man. I need this, dude. I need this moon mission to be real, dude. Come on. Oh, you know what? I need to turn my echo cancellation off, don't I? I probably do. Are you rocking headphones?
Do you want me to turn mine off too? I can do that.
No, I'm turning mine on because I hear it echo.
Okay. I'm running a couple of mics. I'm running a room mic too, so there could be something, or it could also be coming out of my headphones because I'm deaf.
I
so
fixed it.
You did?
No, I didn't. I could still hear it. Oh well.
How are you?
Dude, I'm pissed off, man. I just found out today that space is fake, and I don't know what I'm going to do about it. It's really rough, man. It's really rough. No, things are going good. I'm embracing my dad era, even not being a dad and all, but, you know, you get to an age where it just, these are fucking comfy shirts. Like, I totally get it now. Like, I have a whole closet full of shirts, and I've been wearing this one every day because I'm like, I just want to wear like this comfy Hawaiian shirt. So I'm just chilling.
Well, you know what also is awesome is like you don't have to wear underwear. You can just
what?
Let it hang, swing loose
That's
inside
fake,
your pants.
and I don't need underwear.
You don't need any of that stuff. You never needed any of that stuff. I mean, it sort of feels good, you know, if you you need some support down there with the guys, but like sometimes you got to let some things hang loose, and space is fake, and
you got to give your balls some space. Is that what you're trying to say?
I don't know, in a roundabout way, I guess.
I really liked your line in your intro video where you said I gave you space and you gave me Star Wars. That was really cool. I like that one a lot.
Oh, thank you. My breakup letter to the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry guys to start off the show with a shameless album promo, but the label says you need to promote yourself more. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do it my own way, and that was what I came up with.
Yeah, that works. No, it's great. It's good to see you take pride in that. It's all good.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of stuff. The last 2 weeks have been kind of an overload. Like a lot of the threads. I kind of I try to keep my brain on all the threads just to take a litmus test. In other words, how many times do you see a certain post come up that's about cosmology, and it was, a sprinkling over the last, just call it 5 years, even though we've been in this thing for a lot longer. And over the last 2 weeks, there like almost 3 out of 4 posts is something about NASA. And maybe it's just because it's curtailed to me. My feed is just feeding me back the stuff I want to hear, and is an echo chamber. But however, Matt Walsh, who I think did absolutely an amazing job on What is a Woman. I think he's got a really perfectly good thinking brain. And the dude still he just can't break through. Did you see this? The video? I'm going to try to, I'm going to hunt it down here. He is a perfectly good thinker, but he's got his balls in a vice because his producers will not let him say it. Or I don't think that. I don't think he's gaslighting. I think he literally doesn't understand it. And like I was going through his comments on his latest video, and let me see if I can find it here. I've got all the feeds, at least on my X thread, and he just can't get his arms around it. And this is one of the guys that I would have thought he'll get it in a minute. He'll get it because, like, especially like just the way that he thinks. He's a bit of a conservative, but he can break down the facts and kind of boil it down to something. Okay, here we go. So let me just share this. Don't let it make your blood boil or anything like that. Just kind of see it in a frame or see it through a screen that basically he's not there yet. Let me get this here. Let me just pause, pull it back here. Let's get some volume on this. Okay, so this is Matt Walsh, who I think he has a very incredibly working brain. Now I watched him when he started talking. I was like, "Is this a gaslight? Is this a gaslight?" I don't think it is. I think that he just isn't there yet. So here we go.
Space is fake anyway. That's an actual point of view that a measurable number of people have in this country. Space is fake. I don't know how many people believe that. I would like to think that it's just a troll. It's not real. Like there are a couple of schizophrenic people walking around who might say that, like no one really believes. There's like a group of people larger than any of us would want to believe who actually think this. And worse, they're like snobby about it. Like this is worse it's almost worse than trans ideology in terms of how stupid it is. Space is, well, some of us know that space is fake. What does that even mean? What do you mean it's fake? What does that mean? What do you think's up there? Do you think there's a ceiling? Do you think there's a ceiling in the
Notice
sky?
the zoom in. Notice the zoom in when he said that.
Literally the Truman Show. If you go up too high, you'll hit a ceiling. You have somehow achieved a level of scientific illiteracy that would have been shocking to the average Sumerian walking around in 3000 BC.
Yeah, it's just
You are somehow so ignorant that someone 5,000 years ago would look at you and say, "What? That's what you think?"
So when you go to the comments,
I remember having that exact same argument that he had 5 years, or 10 years ago, to anybody who thought this too. It's it's just so annoying.
Well, here's the thing. He's
Watching these people go through it. Like I get it.
Yeah, but we went through it. We went through the same thing. He's just behind. We're not crazy. We're just early, right? And like,
hold on. Let me also say that, like it's obviously like a lot of what they present as real space is fake. Space is fake. Like whatever is up there. I mean, that's a different. I think he's getting confused, but like they're clearly faking space at the very least.
in no uncertain
And he
terms.
should at least acknowledge that.
Yeah. So, but like, what I think is with Matt Walsh is I think we're watching what Owen Benjamin went through in a much slower pace. Like Owen Benjamin went through it live in a matter of hours. We're watching Matt Walsh.
Around, though.
Yeah. But the thing about it is like with Matt Walsh is like he's on a slower trajectory. So like you went through his comments. I actually took the time, went through all his comments. It is let's just make up a number here, but it was majority people like, Matt, grow up, get it. You're missing the ball on this one.
It's like watching a pro-Israel video now. Everyone in the comments is like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, you gotta just
so
like
cool. It's like, let's go. It's the same thing. It's like you're an idiot. Space is fake. Come around. Israel sucks. Like it's.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you're on YouTube, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, it's just weird. It's not really weird. It's more like we had said. You and I have talked, off camera about the fact that we're now in observation mode. There's no more shouting from a mountaintop at this point. We did that already, and thankfully I'm actually at relief on this. I'm ready to play some music and be like, hey, it's flat. Let's get going. Let's do some stuff. Let's get up to life.
No, I need to go against the crowd. That's kind of my thing. So once the crowd started seeing this shit, it's like, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a sheep and be a part of the conspiracy crowd. Like, come on. Like, I just feel like a hipster. Like, I was a conspiracy theorist before it was cool. And
I had Flat Earth on vinyl.
So exactly. Yeah. I read the book before I saw the movie. All that shit, that's where I'm at. And I don't even mind it. That's just how I am. I'm vain like that. As soon as it's like majority of people are doing what I'm doing, I'm like, well, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
It's just kind of boring or something. There's Nico.
Yeah. Hi. Hello, Nico.
Hi. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, we're at peak Toto pulling the curtain back mode now, and I want to in my heart of hearts, I'm relieved. and I'm enjoying it, but I don't want to be a sore winner. So I'm basically, I did a piece last night because it was necessary because Simon Dan decided to display my face on his show for 250,000
Ooh,
people.
you got a clip?
Well, it's an 11-minute thing. But
Oh, okay.
I basically, I had to address it, and maybe we'll show a bit of it here as we get going tonight. But I just had to address it. I was like, here's a human being on the other side who's, my perspective of it was like, dude is like his checks are running out, his funding is running down because you could see in his face his arguments were basically dwindling down to like really basic stupid shit. And he was also, you could tell he was reading from a script. He was looking to the side looking for more script notes, and you could see it in his face that he was at his last straw. Either maybe he doesn't believe it and he's just getting paid to be that smarmy sort of asshole personality that he was. But I was just trying to say, like, here's a human being over here is like, when his paycheck runs out, he's going to move on to his next gig. He's a grifter, right? And but I was able to just watch his face as he's putting out these old arguments that have been absolutely crushed over the course of the last 10 years, and he just recycled them. And you could tell he was just going through the motions. He was just, I'm just going to do this. I got one more paycheck coming. I got one more paycheck coming, or whatever it is that, however he's compromised or whatever he is, he doesn't believe what he's saying. And now he's scared. And that was the thing I wanted to talk about on that. It was like, everybody else, the first thing everybody wants to do is like go out and just smash somebody else. They're another human being over there. If they don't understand it, a lot of people would argue that, well, no, he's a demon. I don't think he's a demon. You can see demons. They are ferocious. He is an actor who is, probably getting compensated to kind of be a douche in front of a human audience. So? And so like I was just like, if you just look at his face, he's not liking what he's saying now. And it goes the same with Neil deGrasse Tyson. When he says stuff, the original smiles when he used to talk about stuff, those smiles aren't there anymore. It's sort of like a half smile, and he's like, "Can you give me a better script to read? I mean, I can't defend this anymore. I can't defend it." And he got fucked on that one interview with the two brothers. One's a boxer, and what are those guys' names?
Right. That guy, the blonde guys.
The two blondes. I don't know, chat. You guys know it.
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, and like they actually addressed a name, and he fucked it up in the interview, and he knew he did. He couldn't remember Gus Grissom, and he got the timeline mixed up. And of course, he's a good actor. If I had talked to him in person, I'd be like, "Look, Neil, you would have been really good in sitcom. You really would have been. You're not so good in cosmology anymore." And I think he gets it, and he's like, like his pay stub's probably pretty good. It's probably good enough, to get him to smile and move along and play the game. But like you could see the smiles and the smirks and the gaslighting falling off from these gatekeepers that are running the show. Can I ask you a question? Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? At one point, everybody believed wrestling was real, or at least it started off as real, and then it became fake and obvious, and the audience just kind of slowly started just being like, okay, this is fake, until it got to a point where, everybody just knew it was fake, but they didn't care, and they kept going along with it. Nobody really reacted the same way with NASA, because, WWF doesn't get $70 million a day of tax money.
Right.
But, I mean, so it's definitely more offensive, but that's kind of where I'm at with all this stuff. Like, I just look at it like, yeah, it's wrestling. It's fake. I'm not gonna get offended. It's funny. Some people don't want to believe that the wrestling is fake when it clearly is, because they like watching wrestling and think, but it doesn't really. I just don't feel. I just feel like it's just weird to me to like spend so much time like debating on whether or not wrestling's fake. I mean, it's so obvious, and everyone's getting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, here's the fundamental nature of the difference between watching wrestling, which is circus, and bread, which is fake. And
I don't think there's a difference.
Well, there is a difference because the fundamental piece of this argument is getting people to realize that they're not spinning. And if you can get people to realize that they're not spinning, they can actually understand where they are, when they are, and actually make decisions for themselves that aren't based on an outside source of power.
Well, you don't know that for sure. I mean, that's
No,
the possibility.
I'm clear on that. I am
All
absolutely
I know
clear
is
on
that they're faking space for whatever reason, and they're doing this for whatever reason. We don't know. We don't know.
I know.
We don't,
I know
we know
exactly
it's
why they're
fake.
doing it.
No,
I know exactly
you have
why
a
they're
very
doing
good
it.
idea, and you're not. It's not that you're wrong, but it could be lots of reasons, and that's definitely one of them. But what we do know is that it's fake, and that we do know that wrestling is fake. I'm not going to sit around and watch every little thing and make it to see like.
Are you
going
to burst my Hulk Hogan balloon, dude?
Exactly. Yeah, I know exactly. And well, it's just Hulk Hogan, Artemis. It's just to me as, of course, it's fake. I tried to watch a little of it, and it was just so fucking painfully fake. It might as well have just been WWF, and I'm like, I started getting a little aggravated at first. And I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this and see all the fake. But then I'm like, no, why would I do that? Why would I? Why?
Dude,
It's very nice to see everybody else see it, though.
We did 10 years, Jaron, wherever the hell he's at. Dude, he spent 10 years of his life, like, debunking NASA. Some of his greatest work ever.
And he likes wrestling, too, which is wild.
I
don't understand that.
The irony is thick, right?
I know, he was just like, he would watch wrestling for 20 years, and he goes, you know what? Space is fake. Like, what? How'd you jump to... Wait, what about the wrestling? I don't get it. And now he's like, now it's real. I don't know what he's doing. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
Has he talked about this Artemis at all? Or is he? Did he piece off of YouTube?
I think he's so far in the weeds. He burned his channel down, and I think whatever he's doing now is just for clicks.
Sucks. So you can't get some Jaren commentism on. I mean, Jaren.
Did you say commentism?
Yeah, I did. I said can't get Jaren commentism on the Artemis. He did such great work before. It's a real shame.
Yeah, and that's not to knock like Globebusters. Like I spent 10 years with those cats, and I actually watched them this afternoon, and they just crushed this afternoon. And it's just like, if your head's not in the cosmology world and you don't understand all the numbers, you don't understand all the things, it's really intimidating. But a lot of us who are ex-space nerds, ex-NASA fanboys, we knew all this stuff. So, like, here's the one thing that we'll call them globies, call them ball huggers. I think that's the new phrase is ball huggers, so it doesn't, like, it's not as bad as globetards. But the thing about it is, they don't understand that we know all of the heliocentric model. We know all of it. We had to learn. We had to learn.
I love when they try to like explain like we never heard of gravity before. That's my favorite.
I know. I'm just like,
excuse me. Do I have to school you? I had a 10th grade teacher who told me about a thing called gravity. Ever heard of it? And it's like, oh, this is painful. Well, that's what it's like in the very beginning. You're watching the hubris of these people that just reciting what they learned in high school chemistry or whatever, as if I didn't take that fucking class. We were
all there. We were all there on the other side. We get it. And we're actually using your Globy math to show you that it's not checking out. And that's, I think that's the cogdis, moment that a lot of people have. And I think, and back to Matt Walsh, I think the guy has a great brain on him. But he does have a lot of exposure in the media, which means someone's allowing him to have that kind of exposure. So, but I didn't get a gaslight notion out of him. I just don't think he understands yet. I just don't. And I'm serious. Those comments, like, I'm just gonna say 80% of the comments were just like, "Dude, Matt, just fucking grow out of it. This post will not age well. This video will not age well. This is not a good look for you. We liked all your other stuff. You're fucking this one up." And like, he's going to see it. He's going to see the comments, or his producers are going to see the comments, and they're going to be like, okay, all right, how do we deal with these alternate cosmologists people or whatever? He even went so far to say that that we're being arrogant. We're not being arrogant. We're just saying this is what we can observe. This is what we can
Well, it
measure.
sounds arrogant when you think that like if we're wrong. I mean, if it does sound arrogant to somebody. It completely sounds arrogant if in that mindset. It just does. You can't help it. It does. It's just like he sounds arrogant to us, because it's
Well, he's
religious
imposing
ignorance.
his narrative through a medium, is what he's doing, and he's doing it with authority. And he's like, "You do
Well,
not
yeah.
have any." Well, no, let me just do this. He's like, your scientific illiteracy is beyond
Oh, I
awful,
know.
right? And
Don't
so
you love that?
I'm like, okay, so I have a bachelor's degree in biology, and I know the scientific method, motherfucker. You want to call me? Call me. I'll talk to you about it. This is the kind of thing that this overarching authority figure
This is
with.
this is old. I mean, this is the stuff. This is. I mean, this is like early shit we dealt with 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When people were like, "Oh God, these people need to help themselves to some science." I mean, like that was like what he just said was something I've heard so many times, and
Yeah.
I've just had to just like when he said that the whole like, and how dare them disrespect science? Like it's. Some religion, like
Well,
oh my
well, if
god,
you
this
but if
this
you
is
watch
not
his,
this isn't nothing new under the
it's not.
fake
But you know what
Antarctica
I'm.
sun. Okay, so
Yeah. Well, what I'm figuring out though is too is like if you watch the video, the overarching shoulders move forward, camera
right,
zooms in, and then he's like, "You are clearly the biggest idiot I have ever
you
met," and he's
stupid.
making that thing happen in front of you, and I'm like, dude, meet me in a courtyard. Meet me in a courtyard, Matt Walsh. I know you're a smart dude. Here's a
Maybe
shout
in a
out to you.
back alley. Yes.
I'm just like, dude, come on, don't say shit like that. It's gonna age really badly for him, and I feel bad because like the dude actually, when he did, what is a woman? I was like, dude, this guy is like, he's grounded. He's got it down, and then
That
he
one's
just
different though. That one's so different. That one has, I mean, that has like a conservative backing, whereas this one doesn't. This is very progressive to see things in this lens. I think he's just doing what everybody has to do. He's in a spotlight position and working through it. He's not going to jump to this is all real to this is all fake, la di da 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 like that. Where everybody's going to have to go through it. We did it. They did it. It
isn't
just
it
is.
interesting just
It is.
watching the stages of denial and then cope,
Yeah.
and then acceptance is probably when he crashes his channel and just gets out of the public spotlight because he's like, ah, damn, I fucked up that many times. There's no way my credibility is going to stand up after I fucked up. And I even told him, I put in the comments, I was like, this will not age well, Matt. Think twice about what you're doing, but the whole comment section was even worse than what I said. I was actually trying to just, as a fellow thinker, impart to him. I was like, dude, you really don't want to do this post. This is the worst post you could possibly do
Yeah.
right now. And of course, us after I just call it 10 years. After the last 2 weeks, we're all like, I'm relieved. I am relieved of service too. I'm just like, I did it. I said what I was going to say. I'm still clear on it, and I'm exactly the same way I was when I stated it publicly 2017 or 18. I was like, nothing has changed. So I don't have to backtrack. Truth is easy. Lies are hard. He's going to have to backtrack on that, and no one's going to fucking listen to him anymore, even if he did good work, which he did. And I'm just like, dude, like, just you need to just like you need to do a public. I should comment on his channel. Like, you need to do a public apology for your half hack on like NASA deniers and Moonlander. I was just like, dude, who's his producer? His producer should be fired. I mean, these people are supposed to be in your shit, knowing exactly what you should say and what you shouldn't say, and like they should have their finger on the pulse of like what common thought is, and what common consciousness is. Their producer had no fucking idea what was going on, and he fucked up. And it's just like, dude, it's like you lose a body of work. He's going to lose a body of work just because he fucked up one
Well,
or two
that's how
times.
that's how you got to learn it. I mean, the people I feel the most sorry for are the ones in the comments that are just like actually super like excited and ignorant and this is so great. How cool is it that we went back? Like those are the people I feel the worst for because they're not just shitting on everybody. They're just genuinely buying it, like
I
like
think
it's a
there's some
Disney
of those,
movie.
Crumb. I think there's some of those, but I think also that most of them are bots,
You think
and
so? Oh
and
yeah,
and
that's
that's
probably.
that's
I
that's.
don't know. I don't. I don't know.
I mean, real people actually show their faces on screens, and like what I've learned in streaming over the last 10 years is most of the trolls that show up in chats never show up on screen, and also when you go to their channel, there's no
There's like
channel.
nothing.
There's
It's
nothing
like a
there.
playlist.
It's dumb. It's so like what we are is like we're actually on an island of real people that actually talk to each other on this little call it this court square of speaking on YouTube and other various channels. There's
Why do you
actually
think that they got two actors to be on this mission? I mean, this one's so stupid. It just I don't understand why they like didn't even try to make this believable. They got two actors that anybody could figure out that were on other things. This is supposed to be the cream of the crop, the top people that can handle this. I mean, the mental stress that any normal person would have after a bunch of training just to do something that's never been done before, and then every half hour have to be on like doing PR, like
yeah
I'd be like, what the. Get back to your station. We better fucking make sure we don't die up here. We have to be like, hello, how's it going? Here's my
yeah
little softy.
my little
Like it
softy
just the
toy.
whole
Yeah,
thing. It makes and two of them are actual actors. You don't just do. You're not an actor on the side, and I'm an astronaut, but it's not paying very well. So I'm just going to sign up for backroom casting and just be an actor. Like, no, you should be paid well if you're in a position where you're getting picked to go back to the moon, and you don't need to do side gig acting where those guys clearly have a like. That's just so dumb.
I would posit.
That's
I would posit that they're doing it on purpose. I would posit that they are that
it has to.
contractually they have to be showing it because they're whatever their karmic agreement is, it's run out. So like
It has to.
they have to show it to everybody, and like I some people are calling
This
it,
is why I'm saying this is no different than WWF. Literally, It's more budget, more. There's more of a lie. The WWF doesn't come out and say we're faking this. They do it by being so fake, and it's
yeah.
fine. They could WWF if they really wanted to. They can get better stuntmen. They can make it look more really believable, but they don't because that would be I don't know for whatever reason. But that's where we're at here on this
I mean,
because
I would say some of it, like for me, it's like it's an IQ test. Also, it's like where the rubber meets the road. Yin and yang, karma. It's like they've always have to show things in plain sight. Well, now we're seeing the acute version of that, where it's like we're showing you the lie because we're contractually obligated to show it to you because there's been a lot of years where we've deceived you. Now we have to approach it and react to it and engage to it and say, fuck you. We're not spinning. We're in some sort of realm, and there might be other lands, there might be all sorts of shit. I don't know, but it's like, they can't keep that thing can't keep the balance of karma going through deception, and it was a massive, massive deception to invert a place, and not only invert
yeah,
a place, but invert information, invert news, invert health, invert everything. It all got inverted, and now we're in the process of healing that, and basically, reversing the curse, as it were. As I guess karma would have you do it, is like you can't do it all in one jump, or like half the people would just fucking explode in anxiety. But we're
I think
seeing,
that's why they did it because they didn't even need it. Nobody was asking really for this mission. The whole thing. Why did they do it? It was almost like it kind of made it look like they were doing this to try to make it look more credible. But I mean,
no,
a shitty
they were
detective would be
showing
like,
the pulled the curtain back. That's what happened, and they're like, great. They wanted to see who would still believe it, even if they said it. Even they didn't say it, but even if they showed you that it's clearly fake, they wanted to see who would still believe it after they showed that it was fake. which
In
goes
the
back down
last
your
5 years,
WWF
you're
thing.
right. In the last 5 years, what have we watched? We've watched the majority. I mean, there's always people that get it right away, but we've watched with the the COVID stuff. It started off everybody believing it, everyone believing all this nonsense, and then it got so stupid and fake and obvious that everybody had to be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's a deception that big." Then and with this is now doing the same thing with space. Israel like purposely doing that genocide, like and live streaming it for 2 years. Obviously, what were they thinking? You'll go to jail now for posting a video of Tel Aviv getting bombed now, but they were allowed to live stream a genocide for 2 years. Like these are it's all of these are by design. Like they're poking the bear of humanity. They're basically getting us pissed off.
Yeah, well,
Or
I
they're
would.
doing something. They're trying to get us to a place where they want us to see it. I think they're testing our limits because I think we're about to be extinct. I think honestly,
You're
I think a
so
big
dark, dude.
I think
You're
a big
so dark.
majority of the population is going to be going by probably us
I think some
personally.
people should have a little bit of a conversation about understanding what a humiliation ritual is. And if you understand the demiurge, if you understand, the Gnostic version of the archonic thinking, which is like, there's a certain part of this world that drinks off negative energy, and if you're a narcissist, a classic narcissist, or if you're a classic sociopath or whatever, they call it fuel. In the woo-woo sense, in the Gnostic version of the demiurge, it's like anytime that you get afraid or you get angry at somebody, there is a notion that there is a part of this place that you can't see that drinks off of it. Yeah. And so like in the world that we can see, we have humiliation rituals, we have false flags, we have all these things that just traumatize people. You call it the event in September of 2001. Call it anything that gets piped out on the news daily. There's many versions of traumatic stories to drink your fear and drink what kind of energy they can bleed off of you. If you center up and you just say, "Hey, demiurge, fuck you," then you're not going to have this problem anymore. You can move through life and enjoy it and know that you're not spinning and know that you're in a place that actually looks the way that it looks, as opposed to this curvy water ball soup shit that got made up by fucking Walt Disney and Jack Parsons and fucking the rest of those cultists. Occultists, is that the right word, or cultists? Either way, I mean, they were all together and they invented a religion which went into the mainstream, and then everybody believed it. So like
Yeah.
we're all walking out of like we're almost like ex Scientology kids. We're like walking out of this thing. It was like, that was fucked up. They really said that was true, and I was just a kid, and I had no idea how to imagine anything else. And you put fucking a bunch of balls above my crib, and then you put it in a textbook, and then I watched it in a textbook, and then I watched a bunch of Hollywood movies, and then now I think I'm on a fucking spinny space, Disneyland balls. It's just, we're there now. We're walking out of it, and people are going through the cogniz of it, including Matt Walsh, who's like a smart dude, and he's either being commanded by his producers to like do that job, or he's just really lost. Because I don't think he's gaslighting. He's just lost,
Yeah,
and
it's part of the process.
part of the process.
I try to. I don't like to assume people are being or they're like saying an opinion that's not theirs. I don't like to say. I don't like to just assume this person believes this and they're saying this. Like I don't know, and so I don't like to. I mean, I know Joe Rogan. Like the same thing is like, how could he flip flop? How could he say things that he doesn't really believe? I don't know, but I don't like
What
to
was
assume it
he
anymore.
doing in the White House?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. I don't know. I don't know much about that. I
What
think it was
was
like
he
they
doing
were doing
there?
DMT together or something.
I don't
That's what I
know.
heard. I don't know.
I don't know, but there was a lot of talk about how short he was. Like his head barely cleared like the back of the chair that Donald Trump
Is
was.
he getting shorter? I don't remember him being like a literal midget on news radio. Every time I see him, he looks smaller and smaller. I don't get it. I'm serious. Now that's a conspiracy right there.
Yeah. Do you want to, before we take a break? Do you want to see? It's just 11. It's an 11-minute
Yes.
video This
You're
would
on
be,
it. He showed your
this,
face on
this would
Simon
be
Dan.
Simon Dan. Let's just go ahead and watch it.
Let's do it.
But here's the thing. The thing about this is that I want you to remember is that normally this guy was pretty much like a thorn in the side because he was really, really at it, and he was really aggressive. The thing that I tried to address last night was that something changed because I look at people's facial expressions and I try to sort of infer where they're at, and I'm just intuitive that way, and so I watched his face, and I'm just going to show the raw video. If you want to look at what we did last night, you can go to last night's show and see my evaluation of it. I might speak a little bit of it live right now, but this is, I want you to watch firstly his eyes. Maybe I'll pause it or something. It's 11 minutes long. Is that cool with you? You got some time to do this?
Yeah, I'm here.
Right. So, and now he's reading from a script. He's run out of arguments, and my point last night was like, he can see his paychecks running out. So, let's take a look at this. Hold on a second here. Sorry, I haven't streamed in a while, so I'm just relearning all the buttons. Let's see. All right, share screen. Okay, so it's two flat earthers get super triggered, which there was no triggering at all. So the title in itself is deceptive. So like keep that in mind when you watch this. Let's see. I got volume up. All right.
Oh yeah, I think I watched The Strange World when they did commentary back on this. Is it the same one?
No, well, this is brand new. This only happened like,
so he's just saying the same thing.
We'll get the date on it, but it was very new. Like I talked to Sarge last night. He said I haven't seen it. I was like, look, dude, I know you don't want to listen to this guy, but you need to watch this one because
can I just say anybody that puts their stupid YouTube silver thing in the background can go suck one. I'm sorry. That's just get over yourself. They're stupid.
Well, just remember that like my whole fundamental like evaluation of this one was that he was resigned, but he's still getting a paycheck. So this is what it felt like. It felt like a band that doesn't want to be a band anymore because they realized that they fucking aren't making any money and they sold out to like the devil. That's the feeling that I get. So that's all I'm going to say. That's most of the supposition. Let's check this out. It's 11 minutes.
Okay, so it's been about 2 weeks since almost 2 million of you watched David Weiss and Mark Sargent react to the Artemis 2 launch. And you will all be delighted to know that they've also reacted to the re-entry and splashdown. So it'd be rude not to look at that as well, right? Thought so. Hello and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simon Dan. Thanks very much for joining me. Before we begin with today's video though, I was reading earlier about how the Artemis 2 astronauts were praising the heat shield of Orion, and I was reading that story on Ground News, which was actually founded by a former NASA engineer called Harleen Kaur, who worked on the James Webb Space Telescope. Now, Ground News combines stories and articles from thousands of outlets, local and national, in one place so readers can see the full picture of what's being reported around the world. As you can see here, Ground News shows you if there are any political leanings for each publication. And in this instance, with the Artemis 2 story, we can see it's mainly centre-driven, with 103 total news sources. Now, for every story, you get a quick visual breakdown of the news outlet covering it, their political bias, how factual the source is, which entity owns the source, and which countries are covering the story. Now, Ground News is also gaining notoriety for its work. They were recently recognised by the Nobel Peace Centre for their impact on media literacy, saying it's an excellent way to stay informed of...
What you got?
I'm just.
So he's already appealing to news outlets, But I want you guys to see
this ground-based thing is supposed to be like credible. Like, get out of here. Unbelievable.
Avoid echo chambers and expand your worldview, which is exactly why we use ground news too. You can see every side to every story with access to international perspectives that are hard to find, so then you can make informed decisions where you can read, watch and share the best information available. And ground news is mission centric.
Oh, one other thing I want you to watch too, to be mindful of this, and this is how I look at videos, is you can see when they do edits, so his face will move immediately.
Oh, yeah.
So like he's doing these in chunks. In other words, you'll notice this, and like right now we're just staring at his face, right? You can already tell what's going on, all right? But if you watch throughout the broadcast, if you're watching very carefully, he's doing segments in 1 and 2 sentence edits. All right. So like
a lot of people do that though.
Well, yeah, but if you're like, my point being is that it's highly produced. So that's what I want you to see, and then you're going to see that, and then again, here we go.
It's not about eliminating bias, but providing better transparency. And they're funded by the community, not by big ads or investors. So go to ground.news/Simon to stay fully informed on breaking news and compare media coverage. Click the link in the description for 40% off unlimited access if you support the mission and find it as useful.
Common practice. So I see that in tons of videos. They just do this so that you just cut the best
YouTube
of their,
channel. He and David.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing.
I would never do it, but like people do it.
The point being is that he's doing it once every 2 sentences. I mean, they are highly.
I know, but that's kind of. This is a common thing on TikTok. I'm gonna have to play devil's advocate. It's became like a norm because of how TikTok is like. That's kind of designed how they would.
But what did he? What did he fuck up in 1 sentence that they had to go back through and re-edit?
If you have to read a script, and it's just there's.
Oh, I would agree with that. He's reading a script.
Well, yeah, but sometimes people just will stumble and they'll just say it 3 times and they'll take the one they want the most.
Okay, well, let's watch it and see how many edits there are. Just keep that in mind. Here we go.
Vice have gathered with a couple of other flat earthers, and they are reacting live to Artemis 2's return to Earth. We start as Orion is mid-descent through our atmosphere. Here we go.
Will there be dolphins?
There you are.
Oh my God, dolphins! That's my favorite narrative.
Oh yeah. Let's take bets. Chat room. What do you think? And I should look through some of the questions in chat. We'll just keep it on this for a little while. Which is, will there be dolphins? Will there be whales? Will the people be smiling when they get out? What are they going to have? Is there going to be a parade? Why would there be a parade? We've already supposedly gone to the moon and back.
What? Capsules land in the ocean. Oceans have dolphins. Occasionally, they show up near ships.
My God.
That's just the ocean being the ocean. There's no narrative there.
God.
And you can bet your bottom dollar they'd be smiling. They've just gone to the moon, survived re-entry, and not died. Yeah, you might crack a smile there, might
Why
you?
is he even arguing
Can't
this?
stress this enough.
It gets worse.
After watching this for 10 days, good luck trying to do any sort of moon landing, walking around on the moon footage without getting caught on this one. You won't be able.
They won't even give us cockpit footage during the launch or landing. Yeah. And now, this is supposed to be burning up as it's coming into the atmosphere. This is a simulation. Why do they have it upside down? It's a simulation. Why is it upside down?
Yeah, good point. It looks like it. Yeah, it should be going. Okay, let's fade to black. That's fine.
During re-entry, you get a plasma blackout. Ionized gas
my
forms
God.
around the capsule, which blocks radio
my
signals
God.
and disrupts video transmission.
Now, this is really important here, Crumb, to watch.
But it says visualization. He's right. Like it's.
Yeah, but here's really important.
Watch
Watch his. Look at his face right now. Look, this is a guy that doesn't clearly like his job anymore. That's what I'm trying to impart. Here we go.
So no, you're not going to get a clean live shot through there, are you? And Mark thinks because of what he's seen over the course of this mission, he will easily be able to prove that the next moon landing is fake. How arrogant can you be, honestly? This mission has rocked the flat earth community more than I thought it would, to be honest.
Okay, God, the editing truck. Who's working in there?
But Mark, people on computer screens. People on computer screens. See?
Yeah, people. And by the way, don't they look tense? I think that guy over there is actually nodding off. What the hell? This is the most. Okay, and this again, we're transitioning over to shot. We've changed the exposure setting. We're not going to say what it is. You know what? Let me turn up the volume on this.
I don't think I've ever seen Mark Sargent like this before. He's usually so laid back and chill. He is genuinely triggered by the whole thing.
They're in the closed
Do you
caption.
think they went to the trouble of having all those people on computer screens like totally sectioned off, and they actually believe the data that they're seeing, that they're being fed? Remember the interview with the Apollo guy in the control room? He said we did so many simulations that when we did the real thing, we couldn't tell the difference.
Right.
Do you think that all of those people in there are fooled, or are they just actors, or is it just?
Oh no!
No, Dave.
I don't think most of them know anything, and I've talked about this for years. In the movie Capricorn 1, and I firmly believe they got this right. The only people that have to know are the actual telemetry guys, the guys that are feeding the telemetry to those people. Well, that's
So you think they don't know? They're
No,
all
they
just
don't know.
bots.
Why would you tell them?
Mission Control isn't one screen showing one feed. It's hundreds of specialists, all looking at different independent data streams. Things like trajectory,
Who's getting triggered
propulsion,
now?
thermal
My
systems,
God.
communications, life support. You can't fake all that with one telemetry guy. These teams cross-check each other constantly too. If propulsion data doesn't match trajectory, alarms go off. If thermal data doesn't match re-entry conditions, alarms go off. What you are suggesting
he-
here is simply
What's that?
Well, no, it's just he doesn't know anything about how this would work. Like it's very true that like a simulation would be no different, and he knows that. Like I don't understand
No,
why
he-
he's
this
like,
guy-
no,
he-
an alarm would go off. What alarm? He's not there. He doesn't know.
I mean, the point
This
is
is
that he
insane.
knows the score. He knows the score, and
And
he's
he's
going
putting a
through
lot
a
of
job.
Easter eggs kind of through here. Like some of the I'm honestly being as non-partial as possible.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's allowing you guys to have that conversation because
Well,
he's making himself look so stupid.
Oh, that's the whole point. Is I think that
Yeah.
he's part of the cog of feeding it back to us. There's only a few minutes left here.
You
Here we
think
go.
so? Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Is that
By the
Here
way,
we are.
I think that-
we're
They're-
supposedly only 3 minutes out from splashdown right now.
Oh, there it is. Look at that little guy come
There
back
we
in.
go. Where did
But
it
how are we getting that side shot? Where are we getting that side shot from?
Yeah, good point.
What
Ground.
are you getting that side
It's a
shot
drone,
from?
Dave.
Wait, it's below
It's a
the
drone.
clouds. It's below the clouds. How's it 3 minutes from the ground?
It's 3
Okay.
minutes from the ground right now.
How's it below the clouds? It would be 10 seconds from the ground.
I don't know.
Right?
Oh, Dave forgetting there that clouds can form anywhere from 2,000 to 40,000 feet. A capsule can pass below one layer of cloud and still be miles above the ocean. Also, I'm not really sure why you're confused about that side shot, Dave. Recovery zones are packed with
3
assets,
minutes going- he's going
aircraft,
25,000
helicopters,
miles an
tracking
hour.
planes, as well as long-range cameras too.
And think about this. When that parachute comes out, how fast is it going? Does anyone know the speed?
No, because they took it off the screen.
Yeah, so the speed is thousands of miles an hour. What parachute can withstand that?
Dude, it's made of Superman silk.
And by the way, what is it made out of?
Superman silk. Didn't you hear? Aren't you listening, Mark?
There it is. There's
Lowry
the-
said
There's
it.
the little ones.
Yeah.
Parachutes are not deployed at re-entry speed. By the time they come out, the capsule has already slowed massively due to atmospheric drag. By the time you see parachutes, it's moving at a speed they are designed for. It's not one big parachute either, it's a staged system. You get drogue chutes first, which are small and stabilise the craft, and then the main chutes open. They're large and for the final descent. Each step reduces speed safely.
And now,
here
where
we
did it
go.
come out of? It
Here
came
we
out of
go.
it came out of the top, right? All the parachutes are
look at
packed
this.
in the top,
This is
and all
funny.
that fire didn't melt the parachutes. And it's really good insulation. It's underneath the clouds for how long? Wow, how high are those clouds?
Look, he's like, look at these guys.
I know.
Wow.
We're still waiting for the main shoot.
Is somebody downloading this because they can't replay it later, can they?
Oh, it's going straight to my stream.
All right, well that's good. That's good.
So unless they whack that thing,
Oh,
Let's see how they edit it.
Where's the big parachute?
They
It's
don't
gonna
come
hit the
out
water.
yet.
No, they only need small parachutes.
How
for
low
the,
are they? Isn't that the water right there?
Dave is showing here how he has no clue how re-entry works. The bottom of the capsule, the heat shield, that's what takes the heat. That's the side facing into the airflow. The top, where the parachutes are, is in the protected wake behind it. You've also got classic depth perception failure going on here too. From a long zoom lens.
So Crumb. So
Yeah.
like you can see. My point being is like he is just doing a job. That was my humanitarian approach to like.
Well, it's
Simon.
Flat Earth Fridays for him. He has to have a show.
Yeah,
So
but
of course he's
just
doing what he
look,
can do.
just watch his face. We're almost done here. We go.
The ocean can look much closer than it actually is. The drogue shoots that you see there deploy at around 7.5 kilometers up.
I know.
Yeah.
It did seem a little
Oh,
low.
maybe they're all going to die.
They can't hit the water at that speed. Oh, wait.
Wait, we're above the clouds again.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
no.
That
Now
was
there's
it.
no
Edit
clouds.
shift.
Now
Edit
there's no
shift.
clouds.
Edit shift. All right, here we go. So now we have a new view.
Yeah, now it's not nearly as
Now
dire.
all of a sudden the robot is going to let the
10,000 feet.
the three shoots out, and watch how fast is this going when those shoots.
Oh wait,
open?
drop! Oh look at drop!
No,
It made,
yeah. No,
it
here are
made
the
new
shoots.
parachutes.
Now
Look at that!
Look at the shoots. Why don't they open?
The other shoots that didn't melt.
One of them's not going
It
to open.
looks like one of them is not going to open.
But if it's going that fast,
Oh,
those
there we
things
go.
would rip open, and that would be the end of it.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, now we're.
I think it's made out of like
Okay.
styrofoam.
Now it's perfect.
Let's see what and how. Who was above them? What is flying above them at that speed and keeping up with it?
A jet.
Probably a predator.
You need like a free falling skydiver, and it would whiz right by them.
All that laughter you're hearing, by the way, there is nervousness. Dave, by this stage, the capsule is
That was my laughter, by the way, because it was so hilarious.
already massively slowed and descending under parachutes. Aircrafts and helicopters can easily film this phase. They are desperate here to throw as much muck at this as possible and hope that it sticks. They have no clue what they're doing or talking about at all. They're just panicking. It's amazing to watch. Let's see the splashdown moment, shall we?
The drone
Okay,
moving at,
they're okay.
At,
Oh, there it is.
20
there
miles
it is.
per hour.
There it
There it
is.
is.
Look, slowing it down. Is it going to land?
Oh,
Wait, how's it
down
going
the
so
water.
slow?
Because this is what parachutes are designed for, Dave. Why are you just saying even sillier things now?
Bets on it.
Oh,
Dolphins
edit.
are going to show up.
Edit.
There were no edits there. What feed were you watching, Dave?
There's going to
So
be an edit
this
now.
is this right here is AI.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, Crumb, they
I see
just
a
can't.
dick. I
They
see
can't
the
help
dick.
themselves. They just cannot help themselves. They can't. Every single time they cannot. It's like Rod Stewart. There's this old story, the old practice space by drummer from L.A. Rod Stewart wanted to like do this whole flex where he's like, I'm gonna go back to the original like studios and rehearse with all the old punk bands in LA. There's this famous studio out there or whatever. And like, but his handler came in and said like, look, you cannot leave any Sharpies around. And like, you have to collect all the Sharpies in the entire studio, because if Rod Stewart comes in here and there's a Sharpie, he will draw a cock and balls all over the walls, and he will do it forever. And it's either it's a story or it's a funny story. It's folklore in rock music. NASA can't help it. They just can't fucking help it.
They're like
And you can
Disney. Yeah.
It's all over everything. It's I guess you would call that Osiris. That would be the obelisk religion. Anyway, here we go. This is the last little bit.
Yep.
And there we are, everyone. After everything, all the footage, all the arguments, I knew it would boil down to something like that. It's just AI. Well, I think we'll leave Dave and Mark there for another video, nervously laughing at not only the Artemis 2 mission, but the thought of future missions and the impact they will have on their little community. Please do let me know in the comments below what you thought of this one today. As I say, we're all done and dusted for another one. Just enough time to once again thank Ground News for sponsoring today.
So there you go.
I want to make videos making fun of people who think that wrestling is fake, and then just like arrogantly be like, they think that chair was fake and that he didn't get hurt. What an idiot. He doesn't, and then but take it serious. And I'll just, that would be funny.
Yeah. What I want to do right now is I want to take a little break. I'm going to just put some music on.
Sounds good. I'm going to make a
And
little tea.
Yeah, I need to go just make a drink, and I'm gonna shoot out a thing for Vlad, and I want to get Vlad's take on it. I know he's out there in the internet universe. So let's call it a 10-minute break, and let's be back in 10 minutes, and we'll finish up before right around 10 or so. But I really dig having you on, man. I love the vibe of talking about this shit without it being
I like being on.
corrosive and like everything else. I just think it's funny. I just really truly think all of this is funny, and I'm not on the devil's side, but he is hilarious, and you got to give him that. So like, watching these things and laughing about it, you've got to laugh about it. You've got to, that's what it is.
Well, you got to. It's funny.
Yeah. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Guys, stick around. We're going to be on here till about 10 or so, and really appreciate you coming on. This is where we're going to live on the Reckoner channel moving forward. So love you guys. We'll be back in about 10. Cheers. Welcome to the second half of The Reckoner. We're trying to round up a lot of people that were over on, our former show, Tinfoil Sombrero. Just kind of going to do a lot of our talk over here moving forward. So you can find or just follow, do all that stuff. Talking about the stuff we talk about, it's going to be over here on The Reckoner. And try to build the channel back up, because I haven't done a lot with this channel other than just produced videos and things of that nature. But welcome. We have our good friend, Mr. Crumb, one of my favorite streamers of all time. We're going to have Vlad on here in a little bit. Ironworks 92,000. He's got a great channel over there also on YouTube, and he does a bunch of other channels. But let me get this guy up here. Let's see what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Are you eating food?
Grapes.
Grapes?
Mm-hmm. I hear it echo.
I don't know what that would be. I don't know what that would be. Should I do my echo cancellation or what?
I don't know. You have your headphones on?
I do. Oh, you know what?
I wasn't doing this before.
I know exactly what it is. I had the speakers on because I was just monitoring the channel while I was
That's what's up.
doing something.
Right.
So what do you like? What do a couple of musicians who just fumbled into this cosmology debate? What do we do now? What do we do
Nothing.
now?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Enjoy your life. Fucking enjoy your life. Eat some grapes. Chill out.
Eat some grapes.
Life's good. Yeah, we have nothing to do. Can I
kinda
tell you what I'm
makes-
going to do?
It kind of makes me want to smoke a cigarette. Actually, is what it really
That's
wants
what
me
you
to
should
do.
do. Smoke them if you got them.
Hey Nico,
That's
do you
exactly
have
what
any
you should do.
cigarettes up here? Oh, they're downstairs. All right, then I guess I'll just have a Zen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man, I really was hoping I can get some secondhand smoke out of you watching you smoke. Can I make an announcement? I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I've decided May 13th. It's a Wednesday, and every Wednesday from then on, I'm going to be doing my time traveling live stream show. I'm really excited about it. I've been thinking about it a lot. It'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday, and I will be live streaming from a different time every show with a different game and a different and I'll be taking some. I'll be talking about the news, talking about playing some games and doing some music. Having a lot of fun. Anyways, this time sucks. We're going to go back in time and live stream there. And it's going to be fun. I'm going to try to live stream on every platform possible.
Okay.
And I'm just going to be the typical live streamer, just in a different time period. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So
I like the stuff that you do when you just transport people into different decades. You
I
have a
just
little-
like.
you have a-
I need to be creative. I need to. I can't just do anything. I need to do something where I'm doing where it gives me a platform to just do weird shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I just wanted to as we're talking about cosmology, I think this is relevant.
That's
Episode
tight.
of Tweaker Geographic, we encounter the Renaissance fiddler Tweaker. Perched atop fences and power lines, he plays his music. Snot spills from his nose in time with the music. Each note drags the Renaissance closer to the present, and we suffer for it. Researchers believe this is some type of dark tweaker magic. These Renaissance fiddler tweakers are known to drop rare loot. On this episode
this
of
one?
Tweaker Geographic, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a wild tweaker. Already 30 feet in the air, he has evolved beyond sidewalks and into public infrastructure. The stoplight becomes his nest. From above, he challenges gravity and authority. Below, police deploy a massive inflatable cushion. Commands are issued and instantly ignored. With diplomacy extinct, officers deploy the tweaker tranquilizer. The subject believes he can fly. Gravity disagrees. The cushion catches
Oh,
him,
wow.
and the ecosystem is restored. On this episode,
One more. Okay, one more.
of Tweaker
One more.
Geographic,
No, these are great.
we observe an urban drifter escorting her supply stroller through the concrete wild. The tweaker initiates a deeply personal crack cleaning ritual, now
Oh my
inspecting
God.
the residue. The tweaker then promotes the cloth, straight to facial use, completing a full hygiene betrayal. She stops, she inhales, she seems
Oh, no.
pleased. Experts agree. At this stage of evolution, disgust has gone extinct. On this,
One more.
episode
Okay,
of
one more.
Tweaker Geographic,
One
These
more.
kind of grossed
we
me out. I
encounter
like
a
that.
truly
that Jello
bewildering
player was
sidewalk
pretty cool.
specimen.
Yeah.
Dressed in what experts can only describe as a confused blend of thrift store clearance and absolute confidence. Armed with a ribboned stick of unknown origin, the subject performs spins, twirls, and skips as if summoned by music no one else can hear. Researchers believe this display may be part of a mating ritual or an open audition for Tweaker's Got Talent.
I think that she was listening to headphones. I think she was doing Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I don't know.
Personally.
I mean, I have seen that. I mean, they're just in their own world, and okay, if they feel good, and that whatever, man. To each their own. To each
Yep.
their own. But as we walk it back and just talk about the obvious of the last. Well, I'm just going to call it the last 2 weeks. So they're showing
You know what
it
he's
now.
done? Is you think
What?
it's amazing? Because honestly, like the last month, in my opinion, has been the most ridiculous news coming out of Iran and stuff. Like, but I don't hear a peep out of the flat Earth community because of Artemis. What's happening over there is like we're on the brink of COVID too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Lockdowns, gas prices are going to skyrocket. Like
I
we
don't
are
think
like
anybody's buying it anymore. I mean, I think there's people that are buying it, but like I think like it's
I feel like
sort
it's
of
January 2020 right now. I think in 2 months from now, shit's gonna be really bad. I really do. I really do.
Well,
I
I would posit that because you're doom scrolling in your brain right now is that
obviously.
the needle has been tipped enough in the favor of reason that just based on the litmus test of this Artemis humiliation thing that they did, that
Artist swing and a miss, right?
it's swing and a miss, right? And so like now what we
so
have
bad.
is what
Right.
we have is like we have a brand new medium to sort of observe and see how people react to the next thing. And frankly, like I don't know, they might have invented the internet to like control everybody, but I think that the opposite has happened is that the internet actually people started talking to each other and the public square became real. Not just in the physical public square, but like the realm-wide public square, which is like talking to people, which is really, I mean, the battlefield is language. It's not shooting rifles. Maybe the sharp end of the blade comes up at that point in time, and that has to happen. But like for the most part, this has been a language war, a spiritual war, right? And hey man, all you autistic cats out there, thank you. I appreciate. I mean, I don't think I would quite qualify you as that, but like, there's a lot of people that just really get down to the nitty gritty when it comes to like we used to just have the Dewey Decimal System. That's the only way we could research before the internet. Yeah. And now you just have to press a button on a keyboard and look something up, and you have to discern whether it's true or not. You have to go through your due diligence on whether it's true, but like it's all right there. You don't have to go to the card catalog anymore. You don't have to walk around a library to find a book that may or may not even be there anymore. It's actually right there. So I think the internet of control kind of backfired on the powers that be, so to speak. And those of us that learned how to do research and actually, okay, well then let's just go find this out. They gave us a keyboard and they gave us a screen, and pretty much everything is find outable, if you search it long enough.
I had a guy that I used to know growing up in high school and college. He was a music aficionado, a friend of mine. We had a debate. Remember that song, Don't walk away, boy.
Yeah.
I will not hurt you. And I'm like, that song is clearly TLC. And he was like, no, it's Jade. And we were like, no, I was like, no, it's this, and no, it's that. And then we went back and forth for years. Agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Turns out I was wrong. It was Jade. I thought it was TLC. That was a good song. But I'm just saying that was a beautiful feud that we had, and it kept something alive, and it was fun. And it all just would have been ruined if there was like, well, let me just check my phone. You're wrong. I missed that. Like, I was so wrong for 7 years, and
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my story.
No, it's all good. I kind of like keep the threads going here. I always just kind of check in to see kind of what's going on just as the latest. Let's see what the latest is. We have this is the strangest one of all was that Cock was the one of the actors and Glover was the other one. And then Alex Michael was like, "Come out, say it 3 times together." This was the white girl that was in. She was in Mad Max Fury Road, and the black guy was just one of the astronauts. So we have an actress, and we have this guy. Her last name's Cock.
He was in that show Fallout or something.
Yeah, and then the other black astronaut was Glover. And then so Alex Michael comes out today. He's like, "Why don't you say their last names together 3 times? Say it." Cock Glover, Cock Glover, Cock Glover.
Oh my God.
Cock Glover, Cock Glover. I was just like,
Cock Glover, Cock Glover. Cock
they cannot stop. They cannot stop their Osiris obelisk penis worship. It's just what it is.
Glover. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. And I'm just like, okay, okay. It goes back to the old etymology stuff where, like, if you just actually look into words, it's a language war. That's where we're at. And language means expressionism. It means you're manifesting your future in front of you with words, right? And the wizards know how to do this stuff, at least amongst the general level of the demiurge that we live in. They know how to do that stuff, and words affect people and make them behave a certain way. And if you can do wizardry well enough and use words well enough, you can get anybody to do whatever you want. And that was the whole point with it's like if you can convince people that they're spinning, you've got them for their life, But if you convince people that you're not spinning, then they can get back control of their cognitive, resonance, as it were, and actually walk through and make really responsible decisions, in their life moving forward. And that goes back to the 2020 event. It goes back to the September 2001 event. It's a big thing to fuck your cognitive ability and get you to think that you're doing something else. It's a wizard trick. That's all it is. Yeah. There's nothing else to it, man.
Yeah, but I think also part of the trick is to get people like us to spin our wheels about it.
Well, we have to speak
trees right now.
Well, we have to speak about it.
Well,
yes, I agree. But we're not really wasting that much time. We have to speak about it in the public realm.
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying I could be saving lives, but instead,
I could be surfing right now. It's night, but I don't think I would surf at night. But I would it's like, yeah, I'd rather be surfing or playing music or something. And so
Andrew B's in the house. He's a wizard. That's
Andrew B, what's up, buddy? Yeah, it's I do agree with you on the fact that it's like any amount of chance that they can get you to not move forward in your natural life and do your real thing and self-actualize is a win on their part. But we have to engage in the battle of language, and that's what we're doing here. It's just, I have a small channel over here, but you start talking to people, and then that spreads, and then that's the warfare, really, is just talking about it, because most people are just too afraid to talk about subjects.
I think it's like one of the things I had to learn about growing up, I guess especially during the lockdown, was I needed to detach myself from feeling empathy for other people going through a lie. I used to think that I would watch a huge deception and it would give me pain to see how massive it was. So it fueled me. But then there's like, there's nothing. There's so much lies that like I guess what I've learned the most, and it kind of sucks. It's just how to like detach some of the empathetic muscles to the main to like the collective consciousness to a degree, just so I can keep my sanity. That might sound selfish, but it's like you kind of have to as you get older because you can't have your like a bleeding heart for everything, and then when you see everybody being deceived.
Well, you have to engage both. Well, there's the empathy side, and then you also have to engage your warrior side. And in this case, thankfully, we don't have to take up arms. We just have words, and so you have a public conversation in the public square, which is YouTube or whatever whatever stream that you're operating in. This is the public square. Used to be in small villages that you actually walked down and talked about your problems in the public square. Well, this is what this is now. This is what it is, and this is the war zone. We're in it. We're in it. You and I are in it, and even every little conversation is a battle. And
Right.
this whole space farce religion is coming to an end, and it's very clear in the last 2 weeks that it's coming to an end. So like right now we're trying to resolve like how are we going to deal with it with both our egos, other people's egos who are still fighting through the cogdiss of what we went through a lot of years ago. And there's a guy right here that can really speak on this subject. Old friend, Ironworks 92,000. Vlad, you guys all know him, love him. Let's bring him on here. What's up, buddy?
What's good, man? How's everything? How you doing, Chris?
What's up,
Crumb?
man? What's
We're
up,
just-
dude?
Oh, not too much, man. Not too much. It's good to see you guys, though. Sorry I missed out on you last night, Lowry. Nice mustache, by the way, man. Bringing back some old Chuck Norris vibes over there, man. Word up. Looks
Chuck
very
Norris didn't
Norris.
die; he just became Alex Lowry. That's what happened.
Yeah. He just got
God.
reincarnated as Alex Lowry in the
Yeah.
octagon.
Yeah, he shed his outer shell and became 30 years younger.
Yeah, dog. You got the Chuck. You straight up. I'm not kidding you, bro. You look like Chuck Norris. You look like a Vulturemite out this motherfucker.
Nico used to say, like, look, you should use that to your advantage, like getting into like clubs and events in New York City. She's like, you just should say that you're Chuck Norris's son. And they will believe you, and they will move you
Frank
to the front of the
Morris.
line.
Let's get you a fake ID.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta walk around town with like a fake like karate outfit, black belt, and then just just go like and just talk shit to people and just get free shit. I don't know.
I could have done
Right.
that, and I've been told that many times. I don't know. I just that this is how I ended up. This is what I look like. But
All the celebrities that you look so much like. It's funny that it's Chuck Norris. It's
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
yeah,
It's
That's a Vulturemite mustache, man, on the Invincibles, man.
well, they used to call that in the olden days. They would call that a womb broom. Sorry, guys. That's just
the real
never
deal,
never
man.
mind that comment.
I'm
Oh, this
impressed,
one?
man. I'm impressed. Oh yeah, now you got the
I have been doing. I've been trying to join him. I mean, nothing compared to this gentleman right over here, but
you got the
Out
black
here,
teppies,
mhm. Yeah.
Vlad, how's it going over there? I've been trying to catch as much as you've been putting out. I don't know what's going on, but catch us up on you.
Things are solid on my end, man. Just putting in a lot of work on certain projects, getting my app together and everything else.
This is the old world app. I'm really
Yes.
excited about this actually.
Oh man, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. There's a lot of TLC being put into that thing, and it's going to do justice for the community. It really is. So it's
Very
something
cool.
that even your mom and your dad and your grandma and your great grandmother could probably use.
Nice.
know, And it's simple. And that's
It's literally just if you take a picture of something that doesn't stand out, or it does stand out, it's different than its surroundings, and then it's combined into this big thing of information, and you're like, this doesn't look like this. What do you think about this? And then all you have to do is take a picture of it, right?
That's it. It's that simple.
That's it. Simple, and then it's really kind of a sourcing of history,
Yeah.
as it were. Yeah.
Because as you can see right now, man, this country is good at destroying everything, bro. I remember when you know, I wanted to be, or I thought I wanted to be, a physical anthropologist. And my specialty would have been the underwater structures, right? This is way back in the day. I had my dive certs and everything else like that, right? Military wise.
Oh,
And we had just begun the like we started going feet first into the conflict with Syria. I think it was 2011, 2012 timeframe. And while we were doing that, like I was just perplexed with how much stuff we were destroying. And I was like, yo, why are you bombing all that stuff, man? Are you like,
yeah.
you could see we were destroying the road to Damascus, all that stuff that you see in the scriptures, all that stuff that you see in the Bible. I was like, what are you doing? And then you even had those quote unquote ISIS, they call it ISIS, they call it ISIL. They can't even make up their minds what it is. All funded by us, by the way, right? All those guys, they came in with power tools and they were destroying the stuff. And I'm like, what are you
What?
doing? Like, what are we doing? They've got these amazing power tools, and while they're destroying this stuff, they're like, oh, in the name of, I'm not even going to say it. I'm like, no, 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 that's not true, man. I was like, this is stuff that we're funding. It's obvious that our government is funding this. They had the good stuff, the DeWalt's, the Makitas, jackhammers, and everything, and just bringing down statues of Lamassu, statues of this one, statues of that one, and it just broke my heart, man, because at that point I knew that it was us that was behind it. I didn't know why, right? I didn't know why. Of course, we hear all the stories of how the troops burst into Iraq in 2003 during the invasion of Iraq, and then broke into the museum and everything else. And you hear of these stories, but you didn't really see anything. But fast forward like almost a decade later, and we're doing the same thing to Syria, right? We're blowing up these temples. We're destroying these structures that we can't reproduce anymore. And I'm like, this is all done on purpose. Why? I can't figure it out. But I was like, we got to be able to do something. We have to be able to put a stop to it somehow.
To capture the stuff that still lives. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they can't destroy history fast enough, and you have an app that can actually recapture it before
That's
they
so
can
cool.
destroy it. I mean, they will talk about Dresden. The bombing of Dresden was the grossest thing that's ever been, as far as I can tell, in all of war. They just needed an excuse to bomb that place because there was so much old world in it that if they didn't do it, they couldn't control the present.
Exactly. And man, I even have a theory. Are you familiar with Tunguska?
Yes.
Tunguska, I guess the Tunguska incident, they call it whatever.
The comet.
Right. They said the comet just came in and blew up before it even touched the ground and flattened. I forget how big the space was. But I'm like, I think it was old world stuff that they just destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how do you know that place got hit by a comet and you have survivors in that region to recall what happened?
If you walk through this stuff, really, like again, I just recently read Marcus Aurelius. I shame on me for not reading it until I'm 50 years old, right? And one of the greatest things I ever took from him is like, all we have is the present. And then you go back to like the Orwell thing, where it's like, well, control the present, control the past, control the future. All we have is the present. They can't destroy the past quick enough for the body politic to actually understand what's going on, but they're trying. They're trying to do it, And I was always baffled, like in Iraq when they went in there and there was like, "What's your first priority is to go to the museum? The fuck is that?"
Be like, who we going to see? Ben still out? This motherfucker? What's going on, man? We going in the museum for what?
Yeah, and you think about it. It's like if you want to control the narrative, I mean, that's how you do it. You just wipe out anyone's culture. You wipe out any history, and then nobody knows who they are. They don't.
Yeah.
It's the biggest travesty, and what I find bizarre is even today, you have an issue with our government. It's easy. It's so easy, and a lot of a lot of you guys might want to run, but it involves a little bit of the race issue, right? Where you have the Florida governor talking about how he wants to get rid of Black history and this one and that one, and it's like it's not Black history; it's American history.
Yeah,
it's everybody's history, good, bad, or indifferent. It belongs to us. So
Right.
it's like you think you're doing a service to people by getting rid of something that may appear as a blemish to a particular group of people, but if the story needs to be told, it needs to be told, right? So at least we have an opportunity to make proper informed decisions based off of what the truth is.
Indeed.
Yeah.
If you
Indeed.
don't know what you did back in the day, you have nothing to you have nothing
Right.
to use as a standard. And so when that happens, you're preparing yourself to make the same mistakes later on in the future. Of course, we know that that's the corny way of saying it. You guys already get it. But
No,
like
for
we're
sure.
seeing it today, the Library of Congress, even they continually get rid of books. They burn books, and I tried to explain that to people. They were like, "No, they don't do that." I'm like, "They
Yes,
do it
they do.
all the time. They just do it all the time. They roast these books, and then people think that just because you capture them digitally, it's not the same. It's not the
Right.
same.
And what I want you to do is I want you to
They could be altered easily. You could just change one
Yes,
word here.
Yeah.
Easy. It's so easy. I mean, like even like the Wayback Machine, I have to roll my eyes at. I'm like, really? I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, it's got to be easy ways for them to just implant like a screenshot that they say was 2009. I mean, I know you
yeah,
don't. There's no way of knowing.
yeah.
One thing I want you to do a just quick elevator pitch of your app that you're working on, and then I want to
Yeah.
get into some of the
Yeah,
space
yeah, yeah. I
stuff,
want to hear
Vlad.
this.
So do that real quick.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So this is the Old World Ruins and Structures, the Hours app. And the Hours app essentially lets those of you that are going to use it, it lets you basically capture history. And what that means is any old structure that you come across, whether it's a ruin, like a stack of bricks, right? Like I got right next to my house, a cemetery, and, a building, right? The stuff that we're kind of used to and maybe not so used to, you get to take a picture of it. You take a picture of it within this app, and it's got all sorts of great gadgets and stuff. I mean, that's the best I could give you right now. It's that simple. It's that simple to use, and of course, it's integrated with a map and everything else, and things of that nature. There's more to the app than just that. And like I said, the reason it sounds so simple is because it is that simple.
And it needs to be that simple because you just
Yes.
take a picture, and then it goes into a database, and then you can all talk about what you think that thing is,
Yep.
and then we can actually try to paste our history back together that's been
Yes.
annihilated. Yeah.
And what's
Does it go to
the
like you have like
beauty-
a server that it all goes uploaded to?
Yes, yes. And so I already have the company that's working on it, and I've got a whole bunch of screens available with it. If you guys would like to take a look, let me know.
Love to.
Sure, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, let me share with you guys what I got. How about that? Let me get rid of this joker right here. And let me show y'all this. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow with the draw, so please forgive me.
Yeah, no
You're
worries.
good.
I mean, our particular cosmological conversation is directly related to our past. And it's very, very important for everybody to understand that we're,
Can y'all see that?
let's
Y'all
see.
looking
Yeah,
at
I
me?
can see it. I can see it. Here we go. And
Okay.
there we go.
How about, can y'all see this?
It should be up. Yeah, you
Yep.
can run it. You can run it.
Let me know if you guys can see it. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yep.
Hours, Old World Ruins and Structures. That's it right there. And so this is going to be your entrance screen, basically. I'll just make it big for the older people. I know some of y'all have bad eyes, so bear with me. So I can bear with you. So there it is, the Hours, Old World Ruins and Structures, a community-built mapping application dedicated to documenting real physical remnants of historical structures or ruins, monuments, arches, fortifications, and related architectural works that still exist in the world today. Continuing. There it is. That's a splash screen. This is the Hours, right? These guys kind of got it backwards, but that's okay. And this is it. This is your splash screen. This is what you get as soon as you open it. App launch screen featuring the Hours Compass logo. Let's continue. Want to get into the meat and potatoes. Of course, your login screen right there. Forgot your password. Don't worry, we got you. And then basically this is it. First, your onboarding, What happens? Discover and document real-world heritage ruins and structures. Features illustrations of ancient ruins with the tagline about documenting what remains. And then onboarding. Continuing. Second onboarding screen explaining how to capture and document structures with unaltered photos, GPS, community contributions, and unfading concept, which is introduced. And I'll tell you exactly what unfading is here in a second. It's pretty self-explanatory, right? More with the onboarding. So these are some of your basic tools: your time snap, bullseye, and your hotspots, right? And your bullseye kind of looks like this. That little you see this cross in the middle right there?
Mm-hmm.
Right there. All right. Bullseye for proximity exploration. Hotspots discovery zone ends with get started CTA to end the app, to enter the app, excuse me. Your registration screen right here. It's pretty simple, like anything else. Continuing. And then you have what's here that's free with the app. And then you have your pro version, which this may change. So nothing is set in stone with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have your interactive heritage map. It's a full screen interactive map display of what's going on around you. So obviously this green bullseye is you, and then you're going to have your local area. So basically you have a good frame of reference as to where you're at. And then anything that's been taken, you know, somebody might have gotten some kind of footage of, it'll appear in here with the app. Obviously it'll appear in here, right? If they didn't get it with the app, it's not going to appear in here. Everybody else is going to do the legwork. So basically the app is going to allow you to do the work. Okay. The app isn't going to do the work for you. You take the pictures, you enter the info, the rest happens. Okay. So from here, of course, you have the road, you have that road, and then it lets you know after it's been taken, the footage, you give it a name, you got the footage, you got the picture right there. Okay. Continuing, this is where it starts to get interesting. Of course, you can screen out the stuff you want to see and then the stuff that you don't want to see. Arches, bridges, forts, castles, ruins, churches and the like, industrial sites and structures. Of course, like lighthouses, maritime structures, docks and the like. And moving forward, after you capture your stuff, capture or upload unaltered photos. And what they mean by unaltered photos is that, no, you can't mess with it. You can't do AI. Whatever you get is what you get. It's basically raw footage. Okay, what you get is what you get. Nobody, because as soon as you start altering it, it's not good. It's not good for anybody. So what you
So
get,
do you have it set up so you can't upload a photo? You have to like take the photo with the phone, like same with say
well,
like if I have to take a photo of like my driver's license, they make
you
it
could
so you
upload.
can't like.
You can upload a photo. Yes, you can upload a
Okay,
photo after the fact. Like
gotcha.
if you get home and stuff like that, yes, it'll allow you to do that as well. But a lot of
Okay,
times you'd be
cool.
walking, say in Brooklyn, say Wisconsin, say in Illinois or something like that, and then you're there. You see the thing, you just snap a picture on it, and then you say, "Hey, I am on Cross Street, between Cross Street and East 53rd here in Illinois, blah blah blah." And it's this weird structure that's in the shape of, I don't know, an elephant, but it looks old as hell. Here it is. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And apparently, so on and so forth. Da, 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 da.
So if
Then it
I
can,
can just like, because I'm really good at boiling stuff down, it's like really what you're doing is you're reassembling a hot mess of history that
yes,
looks like a train wreck, and you're
yes,
letting people put it back together in retrospect. Am I
yes.
clear on that?
On our at our terms.
On our
Yes,
terms, yeah. And
yes.
there's
That's cool. Oh, hour. I like that. That's cool.
yeah,
Ours. That's the
That's
point.
nice. I like
It's
that.
I do like
ours.
that, and I
That's
want this to
cool.
work because I think like, if, like outside of FE world, which is like just giant, like the old world is like the second thing that needs to be looked at. That we have to look at our past so that we know who we are. You know.
Absolutely. So we have a better understanding. So continuing, but yeah, I totally feel you with that. So this was an example of you putting a photo in. Of course, there's no photo in there yet, but your Latin long, right? Here's your geoloc. after you take it, it automatically captures your geolocation based off of where you took that picture, right? And we're going to whittle it down to where the direction, your cardinal direction, based off of the standard of true north, the direction that you're pointing, taking that picture. All right, in a 360-degree arc. Okay, so here's an example. You taking a picture of Baalbek Temple, and then after you take a picture of Baalbek Temple, you're unfading the product that you've just taken a picture of. So what unfading means basically means that, see where it says 65%, right? You can see that? Unfading,
Yep.
65%. Basically what's happening is other people have taken those pictures, right? And I'm going to show you here shortly what happens when it starts to unfade. A couple of things happen. The picture starts to appear a lot more clear, meaning that a lot more people are starting to unfade the product, right? And that it's going to appear on the heat map saying that, hey, this structure is getting a lot of attention. So then not only have you also taken the picture, but it also gives you an incentive to look at the stuff that haven't got much attention. Does that make any sense? And I'll show you here.
Yes. Yes.
So right here it says, all right, the main hall is connected to 3 rooms east, ceiling. So it shows that it doesn't only constitute of what goes on outside, but once you get the pro version of the app, you get to go inside and take, you get to add amplifying information to the stuff that's already been captured, if that makes any sense.
Ah, okay.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where it gets a little bit more hairy and complicated. But if that's not you, if you're not trying to get inside something, hey, at least you're putting it out there for the people to go ahead and see, hey, this structure is here. If it requires more information, hey, you take it upon yourself to go inside, right? And then do the rest. Some people, maybe they don't. They're like, hey, I'm good outside of the Empire State Building. I took 2 pictures today. I'm good. I'm moving on to the next thing that's not here.
Yes, and then you have like it's almost like playing a video game almost. You're
It's
you're
like Pokemon Go for grown-ups.
Who's gonna go in and actually like map out the entire thing? And there's gonna be somebody out there that actually does do that. That actually goes in and finds out this is what it looks like from the inside. This is where it's at. This is
they
where
will be recognized for their efforts.
Yeah, that's clever, dude.
Yeah,
that's clever.
It continues. Boom, right here. Basically, this is you adding amplifying information. You can see the floor level, all, ground, first, second, third, so on and so forth, right? And then it shows your cardinal direction after you take in the picture, right? You're still at this place. It should be the Latin long, but right here and everything else. Okay. Then right here, you have a choice. You can either take a picture or you could take up to 15 seconds of a video, because there may be some things that are hard to explain with just the picture shot and typing it down. They might have to hear your voice and to see what the hell's going on around you in order to better understand what the hell you talking about, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying, because that's like for anything else, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. Obviously, your geoloc right here, your bearing, right? 12 degrees northeast. So that's basically your second quadrant right there. If we're going from left to right, your second quadrant would be northeast, 12 degrees. That's where your phone is pointed. That's the direction that you're taking that picture at. Then the time, the date, all that stuff. And then the media at the bottom that you can see down there. Okay, now for your bullseye and everything else, Discovery and Exploration tab, where users browse nearby structures, search for heritage sites, view trending discoveries, and access the bullseye's proximity tool, serves as the main discovery hub for the app. So essentially what happens is your bullseye, right? This right here, you could couple that with your hotspots, and then you could see what's around you. But your bullseye also, I'll show you here in a second, these are your trending discoveries, obviously your Petra Gate, Roman baths, stuff like that. And the recently added stuff down here, Castle Wall Fragment, right? Ancient Aqueduct and everything else. And then of course you get to properly categorize, or you can take a guess as to what category it belongs in. Now, this is your bullseye right here. This is you obviously in the middle, and the structures that come up there within. See?
Yep.
Roman Forum archway would probably be this one within 250 meters, the closest thing to you. Temple fragment, which would probably be this at 210 meters, so on and so forth. And so, yeah, it's basically range rings of stuff that's already been captured.
And eventually, you would have this compounded information. Your data capturing, obviously, but the compounded information should give us a better idea of what the hell happened.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
That's the idea, right? No, I get it, man. And like, I like the shit out of this idea. It's like if you're anyone that's trying to figure out history, it's all been indoctrination, and who wrote it.
Yeah.
But this is history. You're basically piecing back together a train wreck in real time.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. On our terms.
On our terms.
At our speed. Because here's the thing, man. Anytime I see something appear on National Geographics, especially these days, I don't trust it for anything. Sorry. I don't trust it. Can't trust it no more. I think everybody out there that's attached to this whole system, they've lost all credibility with us. And so basically this is our opportunity to repiece everything. Now I understand you're like, yeah, but it's still online. I'm working on that part. Okay. I understand it's still online, but I am a huge fan, a big proponent of the stuff that you could hold in your hands. And I am working on that. I promise you, I am working on that. And I've got something in the works, but I'm not going to talk about it just yet. Once it becomes a little bit more solid, then I'll start leaking a few things here and there. But yes,
well,
I am.
Let's do this. Let's do this, Vlad. I'm glad you got to put that out there, and I will promote the fuck out of this.
It's really cool. That's really, really cool.
Let's from the past and the history, which that app is going to be big in the future. Let's land this plane. I don't have to maybe 10 minutes longer or whatever. Let's move into the obvious elephant in the room, which was Artemis.
Yeah,
and
let me
let's
go ahead and close this out. Let me get rid of this.
Let's get your bits on your thoughts on the humiliation ritual, which is what happened. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you're former military, so like you've got some scratch in this conversation. And I mean, any physicist worth his salt would have annihilated this narrative, 60 years ago. But apparently, like, real physicists have been fizzled out of existence right now. What's your take on it?
Man, I almost feel as if, I know David Weiss said a few things about it, and I kind of agree with them that they might be doing a lot of this on purpose.
On purpose.
But I almost feel as if they're doing it on purpose to kind of see and test the waters as to who's going to fall for it again, right? If we're going to fall for this, then maybe they should continue that, right? But if we don't fall for it like we once did, all right, now we could move on to the next thing. Now we could proceed on to this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
offers, yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's because it's become so obvious in what it's not, that it's like, okay, whoever's fallen for this has got to be crazy. And so the mainstream narrative or the mainstream media is still going to do their part. They're still going to do their job. And if people fall for it, voluntarily fall for it, there's really nothing you could do about it other than argue against it. But they're going to see that. They're going to recognize that. And then they're going to be like, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep doing this. But obviously we have people that don't, they haven't gotten a point yet. They haven't gotten, they're not ready.
And they're not in the business. They're not looking to get ready anytime soon. They love their little, at this point, they like the story. I think now it's at the point where you're going to have to like shame them, and they'll feel like some sort of like social backlash of believing it like is the only way. Otherwise they're comfortable, in my opinion. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree 1,000%. And really, it's that, and I find it just perplexing because it's that level of comfort that's going to bite us in the ass every time. Every single time. As soon as you get, I mean, everything that makes you too comfortable, it's something's going to happen to where you need that old way of doing things. And
Hmm.
I think we're so soft in the middle that there's so many ways in which they could get us, and they got honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, man. They got us already. They got us
Yeah.
already, and it's kind of hard to work back. Like, how old are you, Crumb? If you don't mind me
I'm
asking.
43.
Okay, so you young. We're around the same age. Us, obviously, Larry, you being 50, you don't look 50. You
I'm
look good for your
28,
age,
dude.
but
I'm 28.
okay, my bad. Let me correct myself. But real talk, like we all did the stuff that we did in the 80s, right? The
Yeah.
VCRs, the rotary phones and everything else and stuff like that. If we had to go back to that, it's not a problem. It's not a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Hell, if we had to go back to listening to records and 8 tracks, it's like, yeah, whatever, man. It kind of sucks one song, but okay, cool, right? If these kids had to do it,
Not a chance in hell. They would be able to. They have no idea what they were doing.
they wouldn't know what to do. They would,
Yeah.
and
Right.
even if your parents were like, I remember when we were kids, and then the only way you could make a phone call was if you took this little feed horn, stuck it on your ear, and then slapped the hell out that little
Yeah.
receiver joint. You've seen it on the Munsters and those old ass TV shows,
Hmm.
right? If that was us that had to go back in time and kind of figure that out, could we figure it out? Yes, we could figure it out. But would it be a hard task, hard thing to swallow? Probably. But the kids are so far removed from what we've experienced, right? I kind of
Yeah.
equate that to, if they take it all away now, we have to go back and we have to make the stuff that we knew back then. We have to we have to rework it back into our lives, and I think they know that, so they're ready to do that to us. They could do that to us at a drop of a hat. We wouldn't know how to. We wouldn't know how to rebuild an internet or nothing like that. So we would have to go back to what we used to do as kids, all the analog everything. And so we
Yeah.
I
have
heard
to.
you talk about this on a strange lounge, and I completely agree with you. You were mentioning how like you think that analog cameras are gonna have a big resurgence, and I think I could see that, for sure.
I would
Yeah.
think on a big picture standpoint, it's more about did you get enough of life early on to be able to jump ship.
Do you remember the before the internet? Sorry to cut you off. I just
Yeah.
feel like that's a cutoff line. I do, and I think that's where everything
I mean, I
changes.
I had a landline, dude. I mean, it's just
Yeah, I
like
know. A landline. That's
MCI
yeah.
coming to your house.
I mean, but it's like,
That thing would ring, and I'd be like, who is it? I don't know. There's no technology that will tell me who's calling, and it would just
yeah,
like, oh,
And then you're
someone's gonna
like,
be a
yeah,
creditor, or
hello,
someone's gonna meet me
hello,
like,
Chris.
hey, come
Yeah,
over. And I'm like, ugh,
yeah,
you can't.
Chris, this is Mrs. Oglethorpe, your social studies teacher. Are your parents
Oh,
home?
right.
Click.
I was young enough to like it didn't really give me anxiety. If I was a grown up and had landlines without the caller ID, I feel like I would have incredible anxiety every time that damn thing rang because you're like, you don't know.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Yep.
I don't know. But
Mhm.
I didn't as a kid because I mean, how many bad things can really happen on a phone call? But I don't know.
Well, I would
Yeah.
have it. I would speak to it in this aspect. There's a certain generation out there that sort of grew up, sort of like the feral child. Even if you had parents that took care of you, we were feral. I mean, at
Gen
least
X for
you
sure.
can call
Yeah.
Gen X feral or whatever. I mean, we were feral. We're just like,
Yeah.
no, you just figured it out.
Yeah.
And we're the ones all talking about these subjects now because we had the experience back then and we can actually discern through all of this bullshit.
Yeah.
And so like, it's easy for us to see the propaganda. It's very difficult for generations after us to see what it is.
I
And
don't know about that. I don't know about that. I
there,
don't know.
there might be some there might be some help in Gen
Z is
Z.
doing a pretty good job. Like not
Gen Z is
buying
doing
this shit.
okay. Gen Z
They're
is doing
doing all
okay.
right. They're gonna have no choice because after we're gone, they're gonna have no choice. But I
Yeah.
tell you what, like we were the handoff period. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
indeed,
We're the ones that bridge all of this together.
indeed.
And so like we understand the old folks, but we understand the new folks at the same time. But we
Mhm.
understand the old folks. Them new folks don't have it's like
No.
talking Chinese. They don't
Right.
understand them old people at all.
Yeah, well, if you
It's
didn't have,
interesting you say. Well, I just want to say really quick. I joined this like Beatles tribute band where I recently moved. They're all like in their late 60s, and I could talk to them fine. And then, like a couple weeks ago, I jammed with these guys that were like 22, like a band, and I was talking to them just fine. But then I was thinking the exact same thing you're saying. Like these motherfuckers could never have talked to these motherfuckers, and I was right
Exactly.
there in the middle. And so I totally know what you mean, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
but at the same time, I come from a military family. Like my family started Veterans Day in Emporia, Kansas. Like the VFW there was started by my family, and I listened to my granddad's stories, which were World War II stories. Like if you didn't have any World War II influence in your life, you wouldn't get like what it was to like, oh, Saturday nights, oh, we would have knife fights in the tennis courts, down just stupid shit that no one would ever even believe that was real.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Because the kids are like, oh man, this one, oh man.
no,
Like,
Grandpa's on a good one.
Yeah, be like, hey, since you're new, you have to use the butter knife. Just
Right,
that's
right,
our
right,
practice.
right.
That's our practice knife. Is the butter knife. And it's like, all right. Be like,
Yeah.
you just get scrapes on that. You graduated when you get the stiletto. And it's like, yeah, I made it, man.
yeah.
I know that stuff sounds so ridiculous to me as a kid when my grandparents would talk about things. I just was like, I don't know.
But
I
it's
didn't know
so
what they were talking
true.
about.
It's
It
so
is.
true. I mean,
It is,
it's-
and the more one thing I'm starting to one thing I've realized is the testimony of my parents has become, and my parents are old, right? My dad's 88, my mom is 79. She's about to turn 80 this October. I was talking to my parent. My parents know that me and the whole flat Earth thing, and at first they thought it was absolutely bizarre. They're like, the flat Earth? What? And my parents are from Haiti, right? So they're like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? But then once I got them to understand why, and they know my history just like you guys know my history, military and everything. And so that's what piqued their interest even more. They were like, well, you saw all these things doing all of this. And so I got into talking about Tartary. And so they were like, we go Tatel. So they already knew about that.
Yeah.
They grew up
Yeah.
learning about Tartary.
all you had to do is initiate the conversation.
Right. And I'm
Yeah.
like, holy smokes, so they know about this. They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's out there by China, where China and Russia is. They said Grand Tartary.
Yeah.
And of course, there's a minor Tartary and stuff like that. But they knew about this. They saw it on the maps. They had to do their geography. And this was part of the curriculum when they were kids. So I'm like, my parents, they remember this now. They have pretty decent memories, right? I can only imagine what other kids or folks like our age and your uncles, your grandparents and stuff like that, what they remember. And so it's like the stories are so important. What they saw is important because these aren't
Yeah.
just old people that, it's just an old man or old woman, forget what
Right.
she has to say.
It's fucking
We
wisdom.
need to
No, you're
know
right.
what the hell they saw. I mean, everything. Because they're burning it. They're burning the bridge behind us after we walk the plank. After we walk across, they burn it. And then they're going to assume that we're not going to have to look back, but we need to look back and we need to piece this stuff together. It's so vital and it's so important that we speak to the old folks about it.
Wisdom.
We need to get some more old people on some of these streams. I remember when Dave Weiss talked to that old lady at the home. They're talking about how she would learn it was flat when she was a kid.
Yeah.
And then they changed it. Like I thought that was one of my favorite videos he did because no one ever talks to like the 90-year-olds anymore.
They're
Like,
holding the gold.
Yeah,
They're
Yes.
holding the gold.
And once
they
they're
are
gone,
hoarding the wall.
once they're gone, those memories. There's an old African proverb that says, Once the old man dies, the library is burnt.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Once the
Well, with your
basically the
app and
elders
stuff
gone-
like that, man, we gotta
Yep,
keep it
once
alive.
the elders gone.
Well,
That's
I'm gonna tell you guys. I think that's a good landing. You guys are fucking awesome, and
Thanks for having me, man.
we're gonna start doing some shows over here. I'm not gonna do a weekly thing, but I always appreciate the both of you. You guys are
That's fun.
amazing dudes doing really awesome work, and thank everybody for coming in tonight, and who will listen to this in the future. Vlad's over at Ironwork 92,000 on YouTube. What's the exact? Is it at Ironwork?
Yes,
92,000?
it is. Yes, it's Ironwork 92,000 at YouTube. But I'm starting to segue over to Rumble. It's Iron Earth.
Iron Earth.
92,000. Yes,
Okay.
Iron Earth 92,000.
And Crumb, are you still at Don't Follow at Don't
I'm
Follow
gonna be
Crumb?
changing my username. I'm done with Don't Follow Crumb because I want people to follow me. I'm actually gonna change it. I'm changing it to Chris Crumb Live, and I'm reformatting what I'm doing. And starting May 13th, I'll be doing that weekly stream, going back in time, talking about the news, just like you're talking about. I'm going to be doing the same thing, but in my own way. I'm going to be going back in time, getting news clips, and talking about them as if it's like today, the present, and have a fun time being comedic about it. Play some old songs, and change the dates every time I do a live stream, and that'll just be Chris Crumb Live. I'm changing my channel name to that because Don't Follow Crumb was more of a during the COVID. Kind of just trying to find a way to get people to not get my channel taken down. But anyways, so yeah.
Well, you guys rule, and thanks guys for tuning into the Reckoner tonight.
Larry.
We'll be back as it goes. Yeah.
Do you mind if I go ahead, because this app is being crowdfunded? Do you
Yeah.
mind if I drop the link in the chat?
Yes, please.
Link.
All right,
Yes,
so
please.
There it is.
donate to the hours we're in.
I will
phase
not
two
end the
right
stream
now.
until you put that in
Okay.
there. Put it in
Yes,
the
I see
link.
it.
Phase
Oh.
2, and you can either donate through PayPal or Cash App. But the
I'm
links
gonna
are
leave
right
the
there.
I'm gonna
Very
leave the
cool.
thumbnail up anyway for a minute and play some music. So you put it
Very
whatever you
cool.
need to put in the thing. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I love talking to you guys. You're one of my favorites. Two of my
No,
favorites.
It won't go in.
Yeah, man, it was fun.
Let me put it in the private chat. Maybe it'll.
Oh yeah, then I can share it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me do that.
Go.
Let's see. Comments.
The
Private
D is missing
chat.
in donate.
Private chat. And so, all right. So I'm gonna copy that whole thing. It should let me put it in there. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah. Just add the D to donate if you don't mind.
Yeah, and so it's a worthwhile thing, and I think it's going to take off. And we'd like to know about our history, wouldn't we?
Yes. It's our history, not theirs.
Did that go through? It looks like it did.
Sure did.
There you go. So you can see it in the chat. It's a super easy app. Just shoot pictures. So if you see something that doesn't look right, shoot a picture of it.
Shoot a
You never
picture.
know. You might have figured out something that's historically completely valuable that's just been sitting in front of your eyes for years.
Sir.
Am I on the right track on
Very
that
cool.
one?
Oh,
Cool,
absolutely.
man. It's a really cool
Absolutely.
idea.
All right. Love you guys, and we'll see you guys next time, sometime within the week. Thank you, Vlad. Thank you, Crumb. You guys rock. All right.
Lowry,
guys.
you guys have a good night. Much love. Peace, peace.
Cheers.
Take care, y'all.